Yay! It's the last day of March. It's a Thursday, and kids are absolutely sane and completely normal. Normal. So, round my room as far as Camp Tecumseh stuff goes. I'm assuming no one else has things to turn in for it. As of now, about 98% of groups are done. I have a handful of kids I still have not put into groups who have not turned things in. The reason I can't give you your groups yet is I still have to shift them, because as kids either have to drop out or join, I have to move kids around from groups. So most of groups stay the same. Then if I give them to you, then I have to shift things. That's why we have to wait till the last minute. But we're almost all the way to that point. And then they are, in theory, over spring break, completely redoing my room again.
What?
This time, they are removing all of the desks and giving me new shiny desks. Because these desks have been here since before I started teaching.
What?
They were old when I moved in. They were going to be like Mr. Fossil's room, which are separate. So they're no longer going to be the sled desks. They're going to be there's going to be like a table and then like a chair that has like little rollies.
And it's not attached.
And it's not attached.
Thank
So we'll see what happens. So they're also like redoing desks and stuff like that, but I had to mark everything I did not want them to steal from me, which is why you see the things around the room, and I took down stuff because I'm supposed to have whiteboards and things like that. We'll see.
And these desks have gone up in value.
Right. And see, from there, did that one, good to go there, and we will get back to reading after break. Eric Clay.
How's your room going to be laid out?
My goal is I'm doing it the exact same way. You're just going to have a different desk there.
Aren't they bigger?
Like, how big is that? We can barely fit in these desks.
They're just little desks. It's just going to be, you'll have a chair that slides back and forth a little bit. So, I don't know.
Will the desk be connected to the floor?
No. They're just on little legs. We can come back to this at the end. Let's give you guys time to get into things for today. Open up, iPad-y thing. Home children, it'd be the same thing for those of you who dipped early for your break. I'm definitely not jealous.
I
I'm jealous too.
would you be jealous? I'm here.
That is true. That definitely does not feed into my jealousy. Thought I was going to get away with that for a second.
I'm slow, but not that slow.
How slow are you? Alright. When you go clicky clicky, it is going to bring you to today's thing, which is going to be 5 statements. On these, you just have to give me your opinion, and then we're going to do a talky thing. So I figured a talky thing would be somewhat entertaining today.
Sure.
I love talking.
So here are your 5 things. I will be, home children, there's also an article you're going to have to go to, but when you click on that link, it'll take you to the article. I will also be reading article out loud, because how dare I expect you guys to read on this particular day. So I will read for you. But I will also read the questions to you. Number 1, your definition of bullying. Because I'm curious, because I know you guys have had the HSE definition of bullying beat into you. Well, for those of you who have been in HSE since kindergarten, probably since kindergarten, but I don't know if that actually matches what you personally think bullying is. So I'm curious to know if you agree with it or if you disagree what your thought on bullying, because I know when I grew up, it was not the HSE definition, because back in dinosaur times, that's not how we viewed bullying. 2, on that one would be, if a victim fights back and injures the person bullying them, should the victim be held responsible? So the idea is, if the article we're going to read today is about a victim who fights back and doesn't injure them, but I have the video they are going to refer to, and we are going to see that it is a hair miss between non-injury and death. And if the person who had been fighting back had simply moved his body slightly, then the person who is beating him up would be dead. And so the question is, if you defend yourself while getting attacked, should you still, and now, not like outsiders getting attacked, but the idea of if you are at school and there is someone who is punching you and then you fight back or do a thing and you end up killing or paralyzing them, should that kid still be punished? And that'll get into our argument from there. Eric Lay?
How would they die?
You'll see when we get to it. That's why we have this whole thing called a class period. Kira?
I don't understand outsiders talk. Do you mean like Tyson when they were like
Something
nice,
like that.
nice.
And outside, I can't really,
I don't know how
it's, I know, it's
How dare you?
3.
I just,
Going along with this idea, is it possible for a weaker person to bully a stronger person? As far as how you see things, because that's what we're going to get into today. Today's story is about a 12-year-old who is bullying a 16-year-old. And the 12-year-old is a little under 100 pounds, and the 16-year-old is over 200 pounds.
So it's like me.
And so the idea is, can a smaller, weaker person bully a bigger, stronger person? And 4 is going to go to, as we'll see in this video, should a bystander who is either encouraging the fight or videotaping the fight be held responsible or also get in trouble? Same thing.
no.
So again, this is where we get to have discussion, and I'll be interested to see what you say. And the last one, we're going to read the Casey Haynes article, and then get to watch a little video that connects to it, and how would you connect that to our school today?
A lot of fights.
So that's what my thought is for there.
Do you know how many?
My goal is for this not to be homework, because in theory you're doing it right now as opposed to sewing. But those of you who would prefer to have homework, that is absolutely an option you can go with. But I'm going to try and give you time here. I will read it to you, then we'll go through it. What's up?
I maybe have extra time on this because you know I like to write.
Well, you have until midnight.
Well, I also do have a life sometimes.
That is true. I'm not going to grade it until next weekend.
Wait,
Yeah, but it's still say late.
No. As long as this turned in before I grade it, you're good.
Okay.
Again, I would just prefer you guys not doing homework over break. But
Next,
if you're like, doing homework makes me feel important, then
next
I'm not
weekend, as in the weekend after break,
as it
like as in
the one right before you come back to school. Because I'm going to be in this place called Not Here, doing this thing called Not School.
I love not here.
And being as that I don't hate you guys, if I'm not doing work
Isn't
over
that
break,
by
I'm not going to make you.
Here, why are you arguing about this?
Is it,
Do it now.
I'm not arguing. Is it not here by Whoville?
Casey Haynes, teen who attacked bully in YouTube video, says he just snapped. Like child in Mr. Brovicast's class that got ignored. So let's get into it, and we're going to talk about bullying in a moment. By the way, I think this is your water that Tiffy may have thrown onto the ground for you.
Me? How could you?
I'm so innocent, blinky blinky. An Australian teen dubbed the Punisher, who became a YouTube star after viciously lashing out at a bully, said he snapped after years of being picked on. The moment 10th grader Casey Haynes, 10th grade meaning sophomore in high school, roughly 16 years old, explodes on a pint-sized kid who punched him several times is as frightening as it is impressive. I actually snapped and grabbed him and picked him up off the ground and then threw him to the ground in self-defense, the 16-year-old told a current affair in an interview. I wasn't really thinking. I was just like, yay, finally, it's over. I was scared. The 40-second video captured the incident last week at Chifley College in St. Mary's North near Sydney. Now, before you think these are like a bunch of little child geniuses, in Australia, they call high school college. That's just where, then when you go to the next level, it's called university. And so it's just a different naming system for the same thing. But their high school, it was actually a like junior high school connected together. It was posted to YouTube and instantly scored thousands of views. The spindly-legged 7th grader, identified as Richard Gale, does his best Rocky Balboa dance as he pops Haynes in the face with a right cross. The boy attempts to hit him a few more times, but his much bigger victim slaps his fists away. Then, with sudden fury and speed, Haynes is seen grabbing Gale, lifting him, then body slamming him to the cement. The young bully is then seen standing up and limping away. He suffered only a scratch on his knee. Although we'll see in the video, it looks much worse because he walks away limping, but apparently it was just like a temporary thing. Haynes said he never fought back before and wasn't planning to this time, but the anger just built up. Haynes said Gale and his friends began teasing him 2 weeks prior to the fight, but said he's been bullied for years. He once had friends, but they all ditched him because of the teasing. The bullies called me fatty. They would also slap me on the back of the head and trip me, throw water bombs at me. It was practically every day. They once even duct taped him to a pole. Haynes said he was lonely, and after his friends abandoned him, well, he was an easy target. The teen also admitted he considered suicide. I just started to put myself down, Haynes said, and then, well, all the crap just kept piling on. I didn't realize how much trouble he was actually in until I saw that video Haynes' father, Colin, told a current affair, and he said, well, that goes on every day, Dad. Haynes and Gail have both been suspended because of their school's zero tolerance policy regarding fighting. The teen doesn't regret lashing out at the bully, even though he admits he could have seriously hurt the younger boy. And when we watch the video, you will see that he was very close to permanently injuring the boy. I just wanted it to stop. While many are praising Haynes, his father fears the fight video will only invite more bullies to target his son. There'll be reprisals from other kids in the school, and he still has to go to school somewhere. He's not a violent kid. This is the first time he's lashed out, and I don't want him to be victimized over that. So now I'm going to be curious to see your thinking. So that's the video. Come back to the video in a second.
Oh my god, it looks like trash quality.
It is trash quality. I think it was actually filmed on a potato, or there might have been a kid who actually used his iPad and drew it while it happened. You've heard of 144p. This is 12p. It's really impressive. But it's enough to see what happens. Omar?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Haynes the 12-year-old or the 16-year-old?
16-year-old.
16-year-old.
So yeah, Casey Haynes is the older kid, and then Richard Gale is the younger kid. But the younger kid is the bully, as we'll see.
Who names their child Casey?
Apparently lots of people. It's a fairly common
I was
name.
gonna make a joke on the word Richard and comedy is another word, but
So, definition of bullying. So, when I was a kid back during dinosaur times, we definitely did not have this definition that you guys seem to be used to today. Kira?
So, right, so someone who physically, mentally, or emotionally purposely screws with someone trying to get a sense of power or control. Someone who just decides they like the reaction of the victim when they bully.
That definitely sounds like the same definition you've been using since you were in kindergarten.
That's the only
Better
definition
word.
I know.
Nicely done. So, for you guys, does bullying have to be repeated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why? Maddie?
I'd say it'd be like a whole different thing if like maybe someone were to say like maybe be like you're ugly like once and you tell that person like hey I don't like that maybe and say like hey that was like you mean or whatever. If they stop then that's not really bullying, that's just like a one time make fun of, but like if it keeps going then that's when it's bullying.
Alright. Hello?
Well, it kind of relates to the situation. But, so like he said, he just couldn't, he was really angry and whatever. And that could also happen to the bully or someone who does it only once or twice. Maybe they're just feeling like a lot of strong emotions and then they do it once, but then they don't do it again and they could regret it. But bullying multiple times, it really shows how no matter what they're doing, they clearly want to do it, so.
I guess it makes sense. Tiffy?
Maybe it's like drugs.
How so?
Because the bullies like to bully, and the more you do it, the more you like it. So you do it again and again.
So, I mean, you're not off. The idea, the fact that it is a power trip that is addicting. And so I could absolutely see that. Because I think a lot of kids who bully do it because they are unhappy, and the idea that bullying gives them a rush of happiness maybe they don't feel elsewhere, which actually will connect to this one. There's if you go on YouTube and start looking up this Casey Haynes thing, there are a whole bunch of videos where he's been interviewed, and Richard Gale, the 12-year-old's been interviewed. And when they talk to Richard Gale, they ask him, like, do you regret what you did? And his answer is always, no. He was like, the only reason I did it is I was getting bullied at school also. And I had these other kids who were constantly beating me up. And I thought the only way I could get them to stop was by me bullying somebody else to prove that you shouldn't beat me up. And so it becomes that whole trickle-down theory where he was like, I don't regret it because it worked. I did this thing, I got suspended, but people stopped picking on me. And he was like, that was sort of my solution. Kieran?
Bullying is a type of harassment. Harassment is a constant thing. It's not really a one-time thing. It's a constant repetition of something.
Over and over?
That's what harassment is.
Alright.
Repeat attention.
Joey.
I guess my differentiation between bullying and bugging is that bugging is like when you're with your friend and you might take the insult lightly but it only happened once. So like let's say you're a piece of crap and then you're like, at least that piece of crap gets better looks than your grim. Anyways, bullying is when it happens all the time, but it's also not received well on the other end. So you can insult someone over and over, and as long as they take it well and you can tell it's a joke, no one's hurt on either side. But if it started to be taken seriously, that's when it becomes an issue.
It becomes a fine line, I guess, on that,
Yes,
making sure
it's
it's
a fine
being
line.
taken the right way. Well, come back to number 2, because I want to wait till you guys actually see the video, and then we'll talk about that one.
Okay.
On 3, is it possible for weaker people to bully stronger people? Omar.
I believe it is because one type of bullying is verbally
Mhm.
bullying, and although somebody might be like physically stronger, they could have like a lot going on in their mind, and like maybe stuff going on like at their house or something like that, and you could like, if you're like physically less stronger than them, you could like make it harder for their mental health.
I can see that. Would work for me. Kira.
Okay, so like I said, bullying is physical, it could be emotional or mentally, so they can keep degrading them and making them feel like an entire worthless person, and they could point out little flaws that they have, and they could point out like, oh, you didn't get an A+ on the test. Well, I did. I don't see why you didn't. It was super easy, and it could lead people to have lower self-esteem and feel awful about themselves.
As a kid mentioned earlier, being able to attack people's insecurities was the big thing they were pointing out that's to be attacked. I can see that. Reese? Sorry, Selena?
Okay. So like, just because they're 16 doesn't automatically mean they're stronger.
Okay.
Like, they may be a really weak 16-year-old.
That's me when I'm 16.
Shush. And then the 12-year-old might be really strong.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah, I can see that. Kirky?
You can also cyberbully someone and be under an anonymous name,
Oh,
and they wouldn't even know that it's you.
and that does connect to our book coming up. Tiffy?
I kind of thought maybe someone like my big brother who is very logical and tries to stay calm, they could just stand there and take it all while the weaker person just keep yelling at him and punching him in the leg.
Are you talking from experience?
From experience, the kid actually tried to pull down my big brother's pants, but it never
Okay. Owen?
Kind of like what Omar was saying,
Mhm.
a lot of younger kids are a lot stronger with their words than they are like physically, which makes it easier to bully older.
To go off of what that is it possible for students to bully teachers?
Yeah.
We do it all the time.
Absolutely.
I do it all the
Like
time.
our
So-
computers Smelling class.
How so? I mean, so this is a thing that you guys responded to quickly. So how does it you see it in that direction then? Gray?
So like personally, well like with you, I think it's different because you kind of make fun of us back.
Mhm.
So like it's not really the same. But like, I guess like some teachers do kind of have feelings. So like,
Obviously not me.
I bet
That's
but,
fine.
like,
Yeah.
but like if you
You
were
have, like,
if like a group
black
of
card.
kids were to like be talking about that like teacher and like saying like, oh I hate that teacher, she's fat or whatever, like I hate her, she's bad. Oh and shut up. And then that's like really bad. That's really mean.
I can roll that.
Wait.
I don't know.
Ruby?
Some people.
So last year, my teacher, like, made this, like, lesson thing, and these guys in my class, like, kind of, like, told her they didn't like it, and it was, like, lame, and it, like, really hurt her feelings, so, like,
So that qualifies as?
yeah, I guess that would be, like, kind of bullying.
Although, did they do it repeatedly?
No. Oh, I guess,
By your definition then,
well, I don't know.
That's why I get curious. Eliana?
I think it is possible because when I was in 3rd grade, I had a teacher who we were all like talking a bunch and we were throwing things around the room. Not me, so.
Yes, you were.
Are you sure about that?
Anyway, she started like crying, which I don't think they were real tears. I think she was just trying to be like gaslighting us. I think it's possible
Yes, because teachers definitely don't have emotions.
My mom dated her son too.
That's an interesting segue. And Jack?
This isn't fully for the question, but it's kind of something that involves the word bullying and definition. I feel like kids and stuff like us, we'll say bully a lot, but we just say that because we feel like it's a better word than just saying we're being mean.
I can see that.
So.
I have kids tell me I bully them whenever I charge them B points.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You're bullying me." I'm like, "It's not repeat. You charge me points every day." I'm like, "You hit kids every day. It's not important." And I'm like, I'm like, "There's a difference, Caleb."
So yeah, that'd be a thing of like they wouldn't just say you're being mean to me since.
And bully is a synonym for it.
Yes.
I can see that.
That's how people would take it, but then they'll like, oh wait, I actually think it means this, but just change it.
When do we get to watch a kid get hit?
Caleb's turn.
I was gonna say for like the first thing, like I feel like it does like I don't know, well it can be multiple times. I feel like it's just bullying. I feel like they do something like physically or verbally or like emotionally that's like just really detrimental to the victim. Like, cause like if you just say something really mean once, like really mean once, like that would still qualify as bullying even though you said it once. Because it's like really detrimental.
That was an argument a kid brought up earlier. She was upset about the multiple time thing. She said it feels like it's a cop-out for teachers and admin when kids are mean to each other, and if a kid reports it, they're just told, well, if it didn't happen repeatedly, we can't do anything because it's not bullying. And her anger was the fact that it feels like it allows kids to get away with a lot of things because of relying on that repeated part of it. So it sounds like you're saying it can just be a one-time thing. We're going to come back. I'm going to show you a video and then come back to it. And we're also going to bring in the number 2 and number 4, but I don't want to run out of time because we definitely need to talk about video.
Elbows. I just wanted to say, like, the teacher bullying, that's basically what we do to Mrs. Bell behind her back.
Yeah, I definitely.
You should be a third.
I do it to the sense
Dude,
that
you should be a third period.
yeah.
You should see what we do to
Mrs. Randall is so
On here,
One time it's
what you're going to see is this is the 16-year-old who is going to be the victim. You're going to see a kid step in, and then it's going to be Richard Gale, who is going to be the 12-year-old. I will play it more than once.
Be quiet.
Who's dinosaur?
Thank you guys.
Well, at least we're getting sad, bro.
What?
Look at that. Who's that in the background?
Period, King.
I'm going to pause a couple times to point things out to you. Y'all watch it. So one, you're going to see a kid step into the frame right here. Someone who is videotaping or a friend of the videotaper yanks them backwards out of the way. Videotaping kid was a friend of Richard Gale, the bully that is on the left. And so that you can hear, if you listen to what he is saying, you'll hear the kid encouraging the fight. And then also the fact that you have bystanders who are right there just watching it happen.
I'm not interviewing.
Back,
Well, at least we're getting sad, bro. Look at Steve Gordon. Steve Gordon, look at that. Who's that in the background?
Wait, that can't be WWE.
slams him down. But why is it that Richard Gale limps away?
Because he got concrete.
So, was Casey aiming for that concrete?
No.
Purely accident. The thing is, that was an accident his leg hit because his right arm comes down before the left. If he had turned and his left arm came down first, what would have happened?
He got paralyzed and died.
So here, the Richard kid gets to walk away with the If Casey had done it the other way and the kid had hit his head on that, should Casey have been punished for that?
No.
Yes. That comes into
I think if you fight back and you just
And here you see one of Richard's friends step in, the backpack kid earlier, who's trying to protect Richard. Even though Richard is the bully, he steps in to try and protect the bully.
Wait, you got
Oh, he bounced. Well, why does he look like you?
The first one. That was when he was just like, no. It's not racially validated. We will alone.
He really
Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
He's a nice guy.
So,
He's a nice guy.
That part is everything.
told you it was an interesting video. I read the article first, and then I went Googling, and I found the video, and so it has now been taken down, but I
No, it's on
downloaded it.
YouTube.
And so you can, a lot of times you can find it on YouTube, you just can't find that clip. You'll find sort of like people talking about it usually. Did you actually? Yeah, because you'll see like the news clip where they have stuff over it, but the actual kids video. And so you can still Google Casey Haynes, it's on there.
You like on reminders.
I don't know if I can.
Why?
I think it should be on the. Oh, it has the article. I'll try to post a link
He meant
because it's
that
my
video.
video, so I can't post it to reminders. I can't send a big video file, but I should be able to find a link I can do to it. So hang on.
Oh,
You had a comment. We'll come to you.
What was this?
Back in like 2014, I think.
When
And for a while, like when I first found this, and then we covered it and read it in class, I had kids who were familiar with it. Like as soon as I brought it up, they were like, "I saw that one," and like it was like enough that it was on social media that kids knew it. Australia,
look at the slow.
which is like here but farther
Oh,
away.
did they put like in the
And upside down. And upside down.
And upside. So did you want to read your number 2?
Yes,
About a
okay.
kid getting hurt. Go for it.
Okay, so it depends on what they do. If they killed, it depends on what they do. If they killed someone, then yes, they should be punished because someone, just because someone is getting under your skin and hurt you doesn't mean they should kill someone. No, don't kill someone because of that. Now, I think bullying and bullying and self-defense is it depends situation. But if someone punch you, punch them back. Whatever you do not do something that could lead to a lawsuit. Don't. It's just not worth it. If they do something, especially if it leaves a mark, report it.
Problem is, you don't always get time to think. Have you guys heard of the term manslaughter?
Yeah.
So if Casey had killed him by throwing him down, that's where manslaughter comes in. It is where you do a thing that accidentally causes the death of someone else. It is absolutely a crime and a thing that you get punished for. So it's different than murder, which is premeditated. Manslaughter is where you did a thing and you did not mean to, but it still led to a death. Willie J?
I think. Okay, are you accepting my opinion?
Yeah.
I think if someone's being mean to you and then you act back at them, that makes you just worse the bully. Because there are better ways to handle a situation than punching someone.
And with that, enjoy your break and try not to get